Hey guys, what's up? What's going on? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is another new pick a card reading for you guys. This one is all about where you're gonna be 2 years from now. So if you guys are new to pick a card readings, I'm gonna give you guys a quick little rundown of how it works. So we have over here pile number 1, pile 2, 3, 4, and 5. So take a moment, pause the video if you'd like to find the pile that you're the most drawn to. If you guys like to pick with a little bit of visual representation, I'll be putting crystals down below over here so that you guys can have an easier time choosing if that's what helps you. But if not, definitely pick with these cards up here. And then once you're done picking your card, you can scroll down to the description box or the comment box to find the timestamp that's linked to your specific card, so you can skip ahead to your personal reading. So without further ado, let's pop some crystals below these cards to help us out here, starting now. Alright, so now that we have some crystals on these cards, if you guys like to pick with crystals, we have over here some titanium quartz, this is angel aura quartz, this is danbarite, this is blue topaz, and this is bismuth. So take a moment to find out the pile that you're the most drawn to, and again, once you're done choosing, you can scroll down to the description box or the comment box to find the timestamp that's linked to your specific card so that you can listen to your personal reading. So without further ado, let's hop right into this, starting now. Alright, so my first group right here, let's hop right into this reading to find out where you're going to be 2 years from now. So let's pop right into this, starting now. Alright, so pile number 1, this is what I'm seeing for you guys. So we start off with the 10 of Cups over here. We have the Ace of Cups, Wheel of Fortune, and the 10 of Wands. So there's a lot of 10 energy here and a lot of 1 energy. So 10 energy actually breaks down into a 1 in numerology. And so we just have a lot of 1. This is like a new beginning type of energy. We're hopping into some new phases. This is going to be completely new compared to where you are right now. Especially with the Wheel of Fortune, I think you're going to be coming out of a more darker period of your life. So right now you might not even realize that you might be in a bit of a slightly like darker period, and it's not necessarily meaning that you're going through a bad period of your life. It could also just mean that at the moment things aren't as good as they're going to be in the future. So it's also kind of like, you know, showing that you're still going to better places in the future. Even if you're in a great place right now, it's just meaning that it's going to be even more elevated in the future. If you guys are going through a hard time right now, it's meaning that it's going to get so much better in 2 years from now. So with this new beginning energy, we have a lot of cup energy, which this is like falling in love. So if you guys aren't in a relationship right now, or if you guys are going through a rocky relationship, I see you guys actually starting a new one. And this could also be just like healing an old one as well and getting to a better place. But for the most part, for most of you guys, I'm definitely feeling a new relationship type of energy over here. This is somebody who fulfills kind of almost every want and need of yours, really caters towards you, and this is like kind of like getting everything you wish for in your family life. So I also see like family life getting so much better and so much deeper for you guys as well. So if you guys do have like a harder time with your family or some disagreements with your family, I feel like things are going to somehow clear up 2 years from now, where things are just going to go so well. You're going to have a lot of support. I see you guys being surrounded by so much support in your family life, and also in your friends group, and also with your immediate lover. So if you guys are old enough to be married and stuff like that, I feel like this is like, you know, one of those where you guys are in a really good relationship. Things are very supportive. You guys also might start thinking about having your own family, stuff like that. If you guys are too young for your own family, things like this is just talking about a very supportive relationship and a very supportive family life for you guys. I also see that you guys are probably going to really kind of like cater towards your own time. Like this is really focusing more on your life and like getting into really good health as well, because these two cards together really show me that you're really focused on like fulfillment and something that's really healthy. This keeps reminding me of the words healthy in my mind, so this is possibly like a new diet, new exercise routine as well, to get yourself feeling like really, really good, really caring about, you know, yourself. Also see you guys probably going to the spa or something like that when we have the Ace of Cups. This is like really, like this is reminding me of the word wellness. Just wellness keeps coming to my mind, where you guys are going to really be focused on your own personal inner health, your outer health, your spiritual health, stuff like this. When we also have the 10 of Wands right here, this can mean that also in 2 years from now, we're going to be doing a lot more than we're currently doing. This is like taking on a bit of extra responsibility. So if you guys are really busy right now, I know how this might sound. You're probably like, oh my gosh, this sounds like crazy. I can't add any more things to my routine, but you're actually going to be in such a happier place that taking on more stuff is going to be quite easier for you. It's going to be quite easy. But I do see you taking on a little bit more responsibility. So this can be the responsibility of taking on the responsibility of having your own family finally. But if you guys are not of that age, this could be just taking on the responsibility of like being in a new relationship or fixing a current relationship type of thing. But it's like more things are going to be put onto your plate, but in a really good way. I do see this being a good thing, honestly. But I do see you guys, again, very focused on yourself. I do see you guys as like starting to work out or become really active when we have the Ten of Wands here as well. This is like you're finally less focused on going out and partying, and this is like focusing on your inner health and your inner world, what you want to do. I do see you guys working a lot more as well, but something that you guys actually enjoy. This is like, again, very fulfilling. We do also have the card here of isolation. I'm going to put that one over here. Then we have the card of recovery. So again, I do see you guys recovering from some sort of like past issues, past dramas, past love relationships that might not be working out. With this isolation card, this is almost like you are going to focus so much on yourself. You're going to, I feel like you guys are going to drop away a lot of your old friends that weren't really a good influence on you, or old relationships that weren't a good influence on you. You might go through a period of where you're really alone for a little while, but this is because you only prefer your own company at this point, and you're waiting to, you know, get some good friends on your side. So there's a moment of isolation, but in a really good way. It's like self-inflicted isolation, but for a really good purpose, so that you can get your health in order, you can get everything else in order, you could get your ducks in a row in order to create the life that you want. And we also have the recovery card. This can mean that we're also recovering from any addiction issues as well. When we have the Ace of Cups in here, this can be like drinking problems or indulgence problems. This can be even indulgence into food, indulgence into drugs or alcohol, things like that. So I do want to point out that it could be a recovery from that, but it can also be a recovery from a broken heart and finally unlocking the key to opening your heart to something new, something beautiful. So it could also be talking about that as well. If you guys aren't into any like addiction issues, it could just be recovery from the past, or like a broken heart, or people not really being the best to you. So I do see you guys rearranging your entire family and friend group as well, and stuff like that. So I'm seeing that. We also have the card here of Liberator, and then we have the card of Detective. And so when we have Detective, again, I feel like that isolation kind of vibe, and I feel like you guys are going to be really focused on like the more smaller things in life, which is actually a good thing, because usually when we're focused on the smaller things in life, we tend to find more happiness, because we don't seek out huge thrills in order to be pleased. Like, I feel like you guys are going to be looking at the and adjusting like the more minor things in life, like even though they're not really minor in a sense, but you're going to be really like pointing out all the different things and actually seeing the effect that certain choices have had on you in the past. And so Detective is like, we're finally taking a magnifying glass to our life and weeding out the things that aren't working for us. And so this is, again, changing your diet, getting a new workout routine, changing out old friends, kind of really seeing the influence that certain friend groups or family members have had on you, certain lovers, how they've had their effect on you. And this is kind of like, again, recovering from that and isolating yourself from things that don't serve you, and finally liberating yourself from toxic people, toxic substances, toxic mindsets, toxic habits that you might have. And so this is finally liberating yourself from these things, and taking a magnifying glass to your whole entire life and kind of weeding out the things that are no longer working for you. We also have the card here of peace. And so this again is kind of like reiterating the fact that you're going to be at a much more peaceful state. This is like you're finally going to find like a serenity in your life. And I feel like it's going to bring you to a beautiful point in your life where you're finally, again, you know, recovering from the past, finding your own peace, finding your own spirituality. This is almost going through a bit of a spiritual awakening as well. Finding a relationship that supports the peace and the new self that you are creating. We also have the Mending card and the Imagine card. My hand almost got stuck in my little microphone cord for a second there. That was funny. Anyway, So this mending card, this is like you're mending the relationships in your family. I feel like if any of you guys have had family issues, this is finally mending those areas. This is also mending and confronting certain relationship issues and being honest and open about your truest feelings and figuring those things out. So when we have this, this is like, you know, it's a really good card. I feel like you're also going to be finding relationships that serve you rather than don't serve you, but it's also going to be liberating yourself from certain relationships and then also finding peace within them. We also have the Imagine card, and so I feel like you guys are going to be very imaginatory 2 years from now and kind of realize that your book is wide open to write in many new chapters, and also to kind of almost go on a wild adventure. It's almost like creating a more fairy tale life for you guys in 2 years from now. This is like really like good things are coming in. You're raking in all the good things. You're weeding out the bad stuff, and you're opening your life to the possibilities. And this is a very like almost fairy tale-esque vibe that I'm getting from this. It's almost like this is too good to be true type feelings and stuff like that. Also have the Patience card and then the Shadow card. So the Shadow card is always when we're, you know, being a detective, kind of like finding out our more shadow aspects, the things that don't really serve us, and we're weeding out the unhealthy things from our life. And so usually with shadow work, we're confronting our like alter egos. We're confronting the little devil on our shoulder that tells us to indulge in all these negative things or have all these negative thoughts. So this is finally confronting the things that no longer serve you and getting rid of them so that you can shine like this golden bat down here. Like this is finally being able to shine like the beautiful being that you are. And so this is what I'm seeing in this card. And then with this Patience card, this is again like over the next little while, I feel like when we see this turtle shell in here, this is like you guys are going to be almost isolating yourselves a little bit, being a little bit, you know, closed off from the rest of the world for a little while. But this is, again, it's serving a really good purpose because you guys are going to be getting a lot healthier, doing things that actually serve you. And again, it's like slow moving, it's slow paced, and I think you guys are going to be, you know, doing this for a little while still. And I do see you guys also being a little bit isolated, but in a very good way. This is like, you know, something that's very healthy because you're, you're not hanging out with the people or surrounding yourself with the negative influences that might be currently present in your life. So this is what I'm seeing for you guys, pile number one. So I do see things going really well. I do see you guys falling in love with a new love, or at least mending something in a really beautiful way, that you have these flourishing relationships that really do serve you. Again, peace all around. This is like really recovering from the past and kind of liberating yourself from like older things. I do see you guys probably working a lot harder than you are now. This is like you're finally feeling like you are responsible for yourself, finally feeling like you're pulling your own weight, you're doing things that are serving you, and it might be, you know, a bit of extra work, but it's like you're willing and wanting to do this. Things are moving on the up and up. I do see possibly weddings or engagements over here with the 10 of Cups. Again, mending old family things, stuff like that. So that is what I'm seeing for you guys. I also do see sometimes this can mean the birth of a child as well. Ace of Cups and 10 of Cups can sometimes indicate the birth of a child, so it could be that someone in the family is giving birth, or it could mean you as well, if you guys are of age. If not, just ignore that part, that's fine. But for some of you guys it will mean that, or some sort of like weddings or engagements, stuff like that, or just a new love that fits in really well with you. So again, everyone's different, everyone's of different ages that watches these, so I try to say everything to fit with all of you guys. But if you guys are like, you know, 14 or something, and I'm talking about, you know, having babies and stuff, of course that probably doesn't apply to you. It's more along the lines of like falling in love for the first time or something like that. But then for some of you guys, just kind of, you know, take out the pieces that actually correlate with you, because again, it is a general reading and I try to apply it to everyone who watches my videos. So thank you guys so much for being here. Love you guys so much. You guys are amazing, and I'm sending you all of my good thoughts and all that kind of stuff. So thank you guys so much for being here. Again, give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye! Alright, so pile number 2, if you guys chose this pile, this is going to be your reading all about where you're going to be 2 years from now. So let's hop right into it, starting now. All right, so pile number 2, this is what I'm seeing for you guys. So we start off with the Nine of Wands over here. We have the Tower, the Magician, and the Five of Wands. There's a lot of wand energy in here. This is usually some very fiery, very passionate energy that I'm reading from this pile. We do also have 2 major arcanas in here. This one can be pretty destructive, and this one can be beautiful rebuilding. So lots happening here. So with the Nine of Wands, this is usually we've been through a lot. We've already, we've seen a lot in our lifetime. We almost sometimes expect things to go wrong again just because we've been through some harder stuff. I'm also feeling some sort of like either relationship stuff happening here, or this can be some self kind of like destruction happening, or, you know, we've been through a huge loss of some kind when we have the Tower. So in 2 years from now, I feel like you guys will have already gone through some sort of loss, or it can be some sort of like finding out some news that's really like not the funnest, but I feel like you guys have already been through it. When the Nine of Wands comes here first, this is not saying this is predicting that you guys are about to go through a huge loss. I'm feeling for most of you, you guys have already been through one, and this is kind of like talking about that you guys have been through this. Again, for some of you guys, it could be kind of a little bit predicting something that you guys already know, because when the Nine of Wands comes up, this is something that we're already prepared for. The Nine of Wands indicates you're already prepared, you're already ready for this, so it's something you guys know. It's not something that I'm bringing up news to you guys about, so I do want to reiterate that. I'm not like, this isn't like predicting some sort of bad stuff. Nine of Wands always shows that we already know about what this is about, or we've already been through it. So, yeah, I guess you guys can probably decide what this might be for you guys. I feel like for most of you guys, it's some sort of relationship coming to an end, but it also could be some other factors as well. This could be, you know, anything that we lose, or it's like an unexpected loss of some kind, or an unexpected thing that we go through. So when we have the Magician next, this is us realizing our fullest potential because of this thing ending. And so this is in 2 years from now, I do see you guys like really stepping into your fullest light and your fullest potential of realizing that you guys can do so much. But I do feel like there's going to be quite a bit to sort out still when we have the Five of Wands. So this can be that we're having certain talks with our family members, with our partner, with our friends, and maybe it's like them not really wanting you to go down this certain road, and there's conflicting thoughts, there's conflicting ideas here that might be people that are wanting to hold you back or wanting you to go in a different direction. But I see you being the Magician and being like, I know exactly the direction I want to go into, and it's because you've been through this specifically. And so this is like you finally realizing who you are and being like, okay, I know my purpose, I know what I want to do. So I see in 2 years from now, you guys are going to really realize your purpose, and I think it's because you've been through so much. Like, you've seen what you don't want. When I look at this, you've been through something, you've tried something out, and you realize that that's not what you want. And so you know what road you want to go down, and it might cause some conflict in some of the areas of your life, but it's like still so beautiful because you're like, I know where I'm headed and where I'm going and where I want to be. And it's like almost like this energy of unstoppable, like, I'm doing this and I don't care what y'all think. So this is the energy that I'm really picking up from this pile. We do also have the Instinct card right here, and we have the Confusion card. So confusion, of course, correlates a lot to the Five of Wands. This is exactly what the Five of Wands represents, and so this can sometimes mean that we finally come out of a big cloud, because maybe you're going through a time right now where you're very confused about what you want to do with your life, or maybe you're very confused about where you want to go, or the type of person you want in your life, or the type of career that you want. Maybe you're still defining what your life purpose is. And so I see almost right now that you guys are in a bit of a clouded confusion. You're very unsure, but in 2 years from now, when we have this Magician right here, you're going to know so for sure about who you are and what you want to do and what your purpose is. So in 2 years, this is like fully figuring it out, fully knowing what it is. And it's very instinctual. This is like something that's like, it's going to come to you so naturally, and it's going to be there so like unquestionably there when we have this Instinct card right here. This is like, no one can tell you differently. You know exactly what it is, and it's so clear. So I do see this mental fog kind of going away. This can also be talking about maybe you're going through a moment in life right now where you feel like your memory is kind of fading away, or you feel like you're in a mental fog every day, or you feel like you're almost in a dream state and it feels like you're never really fully awake during your awake state. So you could be going through some of this, or it could be, you know, you have a hard time remembering what you did yesterday or what you had for dinner yesterday. And it could be like, you know, having this kind of like mental fog happening, and it could be a temporary thing that you're going through. But I do see you guys breaking free from that and finally finding like a lot of clarity again. And I think you're going through it because you're going through a bit of a maybe confusing time right now. This is a time in your life where maybe you're unsure about a lot of things. Therefore, there's like this kind of like energy of this mental fog kind of surrounding you right now. Or maybe you have a lot of people trying to tell you what they think you should be doing, and it's creating maybe a lot of confusion for you. But again, I see that fully clearing up 2 years from now, and you fully stepping into your fullest potential. We do also have the Don Juan card right here, and we have Advocate. So when I see the Advocate card, immediately this makes me think like, again, you're having a lot of people trying to tell you what you should be doing. They're advocating you to do this and do that, and they're like standing up for you, but maybe in the wrong areas. Maybe they're just like, yes, keep going to med school, keep doing this, and you're just like, but I don't want to be here. And it's like a beautiful support system, but it's not supporting the areas of life that you actually want. So again, I'm just using that as an example. That doesn't mean all of you guys have to be going to med school to be relating to this tarot reading, but this is just an example. So it could, again, like people are supporting you, but for things that you don't actually really want. And maybe people really like the person that you're dating right now, but maybe you're really not feeling it, but maybe it's like the person that your family wanted you to date, and so you kind of stick into it. You know, things like this. These are just, again, examples of what it could be. So again, relate it to your own life, but like, again, I feel like there's people that are supporting, but they're supporting something that you don't exactly want to do with your life. So this is you finally changing it around, getting out of that confusion and following your own instincts and following your own thing and being your own advocate. And I feel like people are going to fully support you once this transition happens, but right now I feel like they don't even realize that you're not really exactly wanting to go down this current path that you're currently in. When we have the Don Juan card right here, this can sometimes indicate that we are in a relationship where we're with somebody who has a very strong appetite for always needing a new person in their life, or it could mean that they might have a bit of cheating tendencies as well. When we get this Don Juan card, it could mean that we've come out of a relationship that was like that in the past, or it could mean that we're currently in one right now. Again, it's a general reading, so you guys will know the answer to that one. And I feel, again, your instincts, when we have the Knight of Wands, it's like you already know, you're already prepared for kind of what's here. And so either it's already happened to you currently, or this is something that you are aware of that you might be currently still in. And so it's kind of like indicating that that might come to a destructive point, and then you're going to kind of find yourself through that, and it's going to clear a lot of confusion for you. It could mean that there's somebody in your life, or it could even mean you yourself might be almost cheating yourself of the life that you truly want to have, because you think that this is the way that you're supposed to be. Or it's like people pleasing. This is somebody who like people pleases, and they just want to do things that makes other people happy, and so they're constantly trying to make other people happy, but again, they end up cheating themselves in the end when that happens. We do also have the Trust card right here, and so again, this is like being able to open yourself up to trust again, because this is, again, like the card of like somebody kind of like sneaking around type of energy. When we have this Trust card, this is you in 2 years from now finally being able to come out of your shell and fully trust your own instincts about certain people, trust your own instincts about what you want to do with your life instead of constantly listening to other people. This is you finally being able to trust your own heart and your own instincts. So again, I feel hugely in 2 years from now, this is you finally becoming your own advocate and realizing that all the confusion is caused because you keep listening to other people rather than your own self and your own instincts. And so this is about really trusting yourself. We do also have the Loyal Heart card, and we have Co-Create. And so I do really feel like you're going to almost find your, like, this is, you know, finding the soulmate in yourself, being loyal to yourself. I really feel like this is hugely being loyal to yourself. I also feel like this is also realizing and being instinctual on other people's intentions. And right when you start to trust your own instincts, I feel like you're going to be able to find your soulmate, because you're going to have such a strong intuition for Don Juans that you're going to be able to find somebody who's actually true to their heart. And the Co-Create card right here, this reminds me a lot of the Magician. This is like really starting to decide what you want to create in your reality and making it possible and making it happen without listening to other people's influences. This is you finally being able to create your own reality rather than listening to what everyone else wants for you and creating your life based on what everyone else wants for you. This is finally standing up and being like, I am the creator of my reality. We also do have the Observer card right here, and then the Underworld card right here as our last two cards. And so the Observer, this is like, you know, finally observing your own intuition, your own feelings. This is really, I feel like, taking a deeper look at yourself, a lot of self-reflection happening right here, but in a really beautiful way so that you're able to see what you truly want and being able to weave your own web of your life. So as we can see in this card, there is two hands that are kind of like weaving the web over here so that they're able to see. And so I feel like you guys are going to be able to weave and co-create your own reality in 2 years from now and finally realize what you want and start weaving that web instead of what everyone else wants for you. This Underworld card is like finally getting deep into yourself, what you want, and trusting your own deepest instincts. I really feel like this is a very instinctual card right here of like realizing what you want and not really living beneath the surface. Because I feel like the old self, you are maybe living in an underworld where people push the real you down and almost made you out to be somebody who you're not. So this is either your family telling you what you should do with your life, what kind of career you should have, your lover telling you that, or friends telling you what you should be, and it almost is like you're currently living in the underworld because you're so repressed. And so I finally feel like you're going to come out, you're going to trust your own instincts, the confusion and the fog is going to fade away, you're going to be co-creating your own reality and trusting your own self in 2 years from now. So that is what I'm seeing for you guys. I feel like a lot of your dreams are going to start weaving themselves into place 2 years from now. So that is what I'm seeing for you guys. Pile number 2. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a really big thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye! Alright, so pile number 3. If you guys chose this pile, this is going to be your reading all about where you're going to be 2 years from now. So let's hop right into it, starting now. Alright, so pile number 3, this is what I'm seeing for you guys. So we have the Two of Wands, we have the Seven of Swords, the Queen of Swords, and the Ten of Swords. So I'm seeing a couple different things in this pile. So when we start off with the Two of Wands over here, this is like we are pretty much looking off into the horizon at so many different possibilities for us. But when we have these Seven of Swords right here, the Queen of Swords and the Ten of Swords, this can sometimes mean that we doubt our own ability to create certain things, or we have to come to terms with the falsehoods that we are giving. So I'm almost being really pushed towards talking about altering people's perceptions of us. So there might be like coming to terms with who you truly are, and there could be like, you know, finally having to really be honest about who we are, or be honest towards other people. So this could be that there's somebody that is currently in your life that might be kind of almost putting up a falsehood or a false front towards you that you end up having to confront, or a person that you have to confront for taking advantage of us, that type of thing. So it could go in that direction, but I also feel a strong inclination towards saying that maybe we haven't been totally honest about who we are. Maybe we try to build ourselves up either on social media about who we truly are, and this is kind of like coming to terms with who we actually are. So this could be that we've almost given like a false front about who we are towards other people, or we've tried to make this image for us that isn't truly who we are. So we've built up maybe an image for ourselves that isn't quite who we really are, and this is finally coming to terms with who we really are and being honest about that and making something for ourselves, like, and actually doing things and creating who we are truly. But this could be coming to terms with, you know, a falsehood that we've put up, so finally accepting that. But it can also be that somebody has taken advantage of us as well, and this is finally us being like, okay, I can no longer be around this certain person, I can no longer do these certain things. I'm feeling like it's a mix between all these different things. It could be that you're with somebody and you always stand up for them and you say, oh no, but they're a good person, I promise. Like, yeah, they do all these certain things and maybe they do take advantage of me once in a while, but it's fine because, you know, I still love this person, so it's fine. So it could be, you know, somebody in your life that you have this tendency to always make excuses for them. But this is finally realizing that, no, it's not working for me anymore. This is just hurting me in the end, and I need to get rid of toxic things in my life. So this could be, you know, you finally not altering perceptions for somebody else, finally coming to terms with a true kind of like relationship and a truth in yourself as well. This is finally finding a truth in yourself and a truth in another person. So I'm really getting the vibes of that from here. It's funny that we also have the perception card right here, which correlates a lot to the Seven of Swords. We also have the prayer card. And so with these two cards, this is definitely like some sort of falsehoods being up there. And when the Queen of Swords comes in, this is really like standing our ground and being like, I am not taking shit anymore, and I'm just going to tell it how it is. The Queen of Swords, she's very adamant to tell the absolute truth, the way that the truth is. She doesn't care if it ends up hurting people. She doesn't sugarcoat anything. This is finally being like, I'm going to say this how it is. I'm going to tell people the real perception, my truest perception of what I'm really seeing, instead of covering it up, instead of walking on my tippy toes around this certain subject, wanting to, you know, portray something in a certain way for people. Because in the end, I think you're going to realize that it really weighs on you when we have this Ten of Swords. This is like you're finally realizing that it's not serving you. It's not serving your highest good. It's not doing you any good to be walking on your tippy toes for somebody else, or walking around on your tippy toes to try to have like a certain perception in front of people, or, you know, wanting to act a certain way, inauthentic, in order to people please, in order to make other people happy around us. This is like finally coming to terms with that and being like, I just want to be honest and I want to tell the truth from my deepest emotions. With this prayer card right here, this is almost like, you know, wanting a way out of this. So there might be a part of you that really wants to be authentic. It wants to be real. It wants to come out of your shell. It wants to stop hiding. But there might be a part of you that's scared to do that. And so maybe it's like looking for a way to become authentic, looking for a way to step into your authenticity, or looking for an opportunity to really be honest with yourself and with other people, and finally be authentic, finally be real, say your truest opinions. And I really see that honestly happening for you guys. We have a lot of yellow right here. And this is the solar plexus chakra. And so this deals with our authenticity and how honest we are towards other people, and our humanness, and being able to express and allow our truest, deepest selves to come through. All right, so then we also have the Fool right here. We also have these storyteller cards. So this actually fits in so perfectly with each other. So with the Fool, this really stuck out to me, this first line right here, fearlessly revealing emotion. And so this is finally being able to fearlessly reveal your truest emotions. Of course, we have the green right here, and the green that's in the Fool card right here, because this is all about the heart chakra. And this again is about being able to fearlessly express your emotions. And fearlessly comes from the solar plexus chakra. This is being able to be like, okay, I'm just doing it. I'm being authentic because I want to be. And so I feel like in 2 years from now, you're really going to step into your authentic self and being able to tell people how it is, tell people your truest, deepest emotions. This is like getting rid of social anxiety. This is getting rid of all other anxieties. Again, I'm really feeling, I'm getting another kind of message that the Seven of Swords here can also mean that you either have a sort of social anxiety, so you feel like you need to put up a front or like tiptoe around certain things. Could be other types of anxiety where you feel like you need to tiptoe around certain subjects, certain people, certain things in your life. This is finally, though, stepping into your truest authentic self, being able to stop being a storyteller and being able to just tell it out how it is, instead of having to make up or alter a story in order for it to be accepted by people, in order to alter, you know, the perception for others, in order for our selves to be more widely accepted by other people, or for us to be able to fit in with other people. This is finally being like, I'm just gonna be my authentic self because I want people to love me for the real me, and I don't care if I lose most of my friends because of this, because I'd rather have the truest friends that love me for me rather than love me because of the current perception that they're having of me based on my storytelling and stuff like that, or, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I feel like you're really going to step out and not really give an F, because when we have the Fool card right here, this is like almost, you know, walking with a little skip in your step and being like, I no longer care what people think of me, because it's not necessarily choosing to be ignorant of what people think of you. This is more like, I just want to be authentic. I want to be me, so I just don't care. So I'm really getting those vibes from this pile. It's like 2 years from now, I feel like you're going to really step into authenticity. You're going to step into your truest self and not be afraid to express yourself. And I feel like your anxieties are going to go away, stresses are going to go away, certain things that hold you back from being your truest self are going to fade away and fall away for you guys, because you're going to step into wanting to be authentic and wanting to be real. We also have the Magical Powers card over here, and this is like, it's going to unlock so much for you. I feel like it's really going to unlock your truest potential. When I look at the Magical Powers card, this is like screaming your truest ultimate potential is going to shine through, because you're finally being your authentic self. You're being super clear about who you are. You're being like, you're able to stop dimming certain parts of yourself in order to please other people. This is finally like, we're just shining all of our light. And I don't care if you don't like some of the light that I shine, but that's fine. I'm just going to be me anyway. And so in doing that, I feel like you're going to be able to shine so much more of your energy, so much more of your light, so much more of who you are. Therefore, it's going to have much bigger impact in your life. Your manifestation abilities are going to heighten, because now you're raising your vibration. You're creating with more energy because you're not blocking off certain parts of yourself anymore. And it's just going to explode with a beautiful, magical power of, you can create anything, because you're finally utilizing all areas of yourself, all of your energy, all of your thinking power, all of this, and you're finally accepting it as well. We also have the Time to Go card, so this might mean that you guys end up also, when we have the Two of Wands and Time to Go, this is like indicating some sort of travel, so you guys might end up moving immediately after this and being like, I don't even belong here anymore. I'm being authentic and I need to move. I need to have new friends. I need to let go of my old self. I need to let go of my old past. I'm going to move somewhere new, have new friend groups, stuff like that. We also have the Milk and Honey cards. This is finally being able to enjoy the milk and honey of life. This is finally being able to enjoy everything because of the fact that you stepped into your fullest self instead of hiding certain parts of yourself in order to please people. Now you're your fullest self and you're able to enjoy more out of life because of that. Our last two cards are the Play card and the Creator card. So with this Play card, this is like, you know, you're finally able to fully enjoy life. Again, with the Milk and Honey card and the Play card, this is like you're finally able to be free. You're able to play around. You're going to enjoy life so much more in 2 years from now by being authentic and by being real. You're going to be kind of like, or not even kind of, you're going to be the full creator of your reality because you're finally being authentic about what you desire, what you want, and being able to create with your full energy is very powerful. Because usually when we're inauthentic with people, we're actually blocking off certain parts of ourselves or hiding certain parts of ourselves in order to please other people. And in doing that, we're actually literally blocking off some of our energy. And so when we try to manifest certain things, it doesn't have its full potential. And so when you finally unlock your truest self, you become authentic. I feel like many magical powers are going to be like kind of like awakened for you, and your creating abilities in this lifetime are going to be outstanding. So that's what I'm seeing for you guys. Pile number 3. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a really big thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. All right, so pile number 4, if you guys choose this pile, this is going to be your reading all about where you're going to end up in 2 years from now. So let's hop right into this, starting now. All right, so pile number 4, this is what I'm seeing for you guys. So we start off with the 7 of Pentacles. We have the Ace of Swords, the 5 of Swords, and the 3 of Swords. There's a lot of sword energy in this pile. I want to first point out, because we have 3 sword cards right here. The swords really talk about things that are going on in our mind, the current thoughts that we're having. It can also deal with certain trust issues, certain stuff going on, cutting different things away from our life that no longer serve us, stuff like this. So immediately the vibes that I'm getting from this, when we have the seven of Pentacles and we have these sword cards right here, I'm really feeling like a certain relationship will be ending for you guys in 3 years from now, because we have the Ace of Swords, which usually deals with cutting things away, but in a very positive way as well. This is usually things that happen to our benefit. But it can be a little bit bittersweet because, you know, we're still cutting away something from our lives, but at the same time, we know it's for the greater good. When we have the Five of Swords here as well, this is usually because we know that this relationship is really not serving us. This is something that's not good for us. Yes, it's going to, you know, break our heart a little bit. We're going to be quite upset over it, and it's going to hurt to, you know, cut this person out of our lives. But at the same time, we know that it is for the greater good of you and this person, because I feel like this person either doesn't take you seriously, or takes you for granted, or kind of walks all over your toes, or expects too much from you, or lies to you. There's a little bit of deceit probably in here of some kind of way. And I'm not trying to say that this person is super bad or anything like that, but just the progression of this relationship, I don't think that this person's mature enough to really know how to treat another person or things like that. So I am seeing this relationship ending, but again, it's for the greater good. This the Ace of Swords coming up is always a positive end, even though it can be bittersweet, because you know, it hurts to cut things away, but at the same time, we know it's for the best. So yes, a little bit bittersweet, but at the same time, with the Seven of Pentacles being right in here, in 2 years from now, I feel like you guys are going to feel your ultimate potential finally coming out of the closet here. So this is like finally realizing that you can make your life happen the way that you want to. I feel like you guys were probably held down by this relationship and probably held back quite a bit. Maybe this person put you down or made you believe that you were less worthy than you actually are. Whenever I see the Five of Swords here, this is like somebody who almost puts us down because of their own insecurities. So this has nothing actually to even do with you. This is somebody putting you down because, you know, they are already down about themselves, so they want somebody to push somebody else down on their level as well. But I feel like once you're free of this relationship in 2 years from now, this is like your ultimate potential finally releasing when we have the Seven of Pentacles here. This is like you are going to plant the seeds of what you finally want in your life and be able to watch them grow and be so pleased with yourself. Like this is kind of almost creating a beautiful life for yourself, whereas you always felt like you couldn't because this person told you you couldn't, but then you finally go out and do all those things. And it's like a beautiful, not necessarily revenge, because I really don't like revenge. I don't, it doesn't sit with me well personally, but this is almost kind of like that sweet little, like, you always told me I couldn't, but guess what? I did. That's the energy that I'm getting from this pile right here. So this is finally you being able to go after your passions, and it does involve something ending, but at the same time, it's like a beautiful end because, whew, and of course we have the Passion card next. This is you finally being able to create what you're passionate about. When we have the Seven of Pentacles and the Passion card, this is like you're finally able to be like, okay, I'm going to chase after the things that I actually want in my life, and I'm going to make them happen. And this is you finally going out and doing that. So I do feel like in 2 years from now, again, you guys are going to be going through some sort of breakup, but it's going to lead you towards the best place possible. We also have the Bittersweet card right here. And so this is like, oh my gosh, of course we do. So this is exactly what I was talking about with the Ace of Swords. It's bittersweet. Wow, I can't believe that didn't hit me sooner than that. That was a bit delayed. That was a delayed shock in my part. But anyway, so this bittersweet card happening right here, again, it's bittersweet because there might be a relationship ending, but at the same time, it's for the best. You know that it's for the best. You know that it's to your benefit and to this person's benefit as well, in order for you two to grow, but separately, because growing together, I think you guys almost plateaued and it was more of a negative relationship rather than a positive one. So it's bittersweet because yes, it's ending. Yes, you maybe love this person loves you, but at the same time, it's best for both of you to go on your own separate paths. So that bittersweet card in there, it's like 2 years from now, yes, there's a bittersweetness, but at the same time, you're going to be able to create your passion and do that kind of stuff. And again, when we have this Monk card show up, this is kind of like telling us that, or actually I'm going to put this over here. So when we have the Monk card come up, this is like we aren't focused on relationships right now, and we're just focused on our career, our current passions, helping other people, that kind of stuff. And so when Monk comes up, yes, relationship is ending. You might go through a bit of a dry spell for a little while there. When we have the Monk card, but it doesn't necessarily mean we're lonely. It's just like it's a choice. It's rather a choice of, you know, dedicating ourselves to our passion, dedicating ourselves to what we actually want to do in this world and our purpose for a little while. It doesn't mean that you guys aren't ever going to have a relationship again. It just means 2 years from now, the focus is going to be on you and your career and the things that you want to do and the things that you want to offer to this world rather than relationships. But you again could fall in love immediately right after, you know, working on your passion. So I do want to point that out. We do also have the martyr right here. And this is, again, when we kind of like dedicate ourselves to spirit, or we dedicate ourselves to our purpose. And so, again, some of you guys might be super spiritual, some of you guys might not be. But this is like dedicating yourselves towards your purpose and towards what you truly want out of life. When we have the courage card, this is finally like mustering up the courage to do this. So I feel like this is something that might be on your guys' mind right now if you're currently in a relationship right now, and this is pretty accurately depicting this person. I feel like at the moment you don't have enough courage to leave this person, or you don't have enough willpower to fully leave them. But with this courage card, it's like finally you're going to reach a point to where you have enough courage to leave them and go on your own passions, because you're going to have almost this awakening and this self-empowerment of like, I want to create a beautiful life for myself rather than live in something that is toxic for me anyway. Again, it's bittersweet, but you're going to be focused towards your passions. And so this courage is going to really muster up over the next 2 years and really push you towards your fullest potential. We also have the exchanging gifts card, and then the time for a nap card. So with the exchanging gifts card, this is finally like, I feel like this is a gift for you and the other person. So this ending is actually going to be positive for both of you, and I feel like both of you are going to end up in a better place because of this. Not saying that you two are like really bad for each other, you two are a bad influence on each other. I'm not saying that at all. It's just you two served each other a purpose of learning and growing together as two souls, and the learning, sure, it can come up in a more negative type way, but it's helped both of you. So again, you guys served a beautiful purpose for each other, although it's a bit of a not exactly what we're wanting because it's a little bit toxic, but again, it's a beautiful thing in the end, and I feel like there's going to be a lot of abundance for you waiting after. When we have the Seven of Pentacles right here in the exchanging gifts card, this is like finally things are really looking up, and this is like creating abundance for yourself in a really beautiful way. I do also feel like your energy afterwards is going to be like, whoo, I can't believe I did all that. Can't believe I've been through all of that. Time for a nap card is usually like we tend to isolate ourselves off from the rest of the world for a little while. It's similar to this monk card because we're finally like really focused on what we are doing in the world, our divine purpose in the world. And so there's a period of a little bit of like either like isolation, but a little bit of a hermit mode where we're just very focused on our passions and creating those rather than super focused on the outside world for a little while. So it's a really good thing. And again, really positive stuff here. We also have trust and reclaim. So these are our last two cards. When we have trust over here, this is finally like, you know, realizing our truest potential and realizing that we can make this happen, and trusting that, yes, we are making the right choice here. This courage is leading us in the right direction. Our desires are leading us in the right direction. Our inner knowing, our inner instincts are leading us in the right direction. So trust your gut instincts on this whole thing. If you have any more questions around this, just trust your gut instincts because they're probably leading you in the right direction. We also have reclaim over here, and this is like telling us that yes, we're going to be reclaiming who we are. We're going to be finally because I feel like in this relationship you guys have put yourselves on the back burner. You guys have, you know, poured in so much time and effort into this relationship, and yeah, it's not really going in the best direction, but it's like, again, it's kind of talking about how you gave up yourself for this relationship. You probably gave up your passions for this relationship, and you're going to be reclaiming yourself, and you're going to be reclaiming those passions in 2 years from now and finally making them happen and living them to their fullest potential. So that is what I'm seeing for you guys. Pile number 4. Hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a really big thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye! Alright, so pile number 5, our last pile. If you guys chose this one, this is going to be your reading all about where you're going to be 2 years from now. So let's hop right into it, starting now. Alright, so pile number 5, this is what I'm seeing for you guys. So we have the 10 of Pentacles here, the Devil, the 9 of Pentacles, and Death. So we have a lot of Pentacle cards here and 2 really major Arcana cards over here. So with the Pentacles, this is really talking about a focus on money, a focus on material, the focus on what you have in your material reality. And so I feel like for you guys, you're actually going to be moving up a lot materially over the next 2 years. But when we also have the Devil and the Death card, this can be that we are realizing our attachment to the material, and we're kind of going through a bit of a transformation as well. So this is a major transformation that we're going to be going through in 2 years. But I also do at the same time see that your material wealth or material abundance is definitely like skyrocketing 2 years from now. But I feel like it's going to happen because of we're releasing some old patterns that we used to have. When we have the Devil card here, this can mean that we're currently in a situation where we're either very focused on addictions, toxic relationships, toxic behaviors, toxic people in our lives. We're dependent on certain things, or we really truly doubt ourselves. We have a lot of limiting beliefs on ourselves. We feel chained to something. We feel like we can't break free from these certain things, or we feel like we were born into something unfortunate, therefore we can never gain so much materially. These kind of thoughts, these kind of things in our life. So the Devil kind of rules these certain aspects. And so whenever we have this coming up, this is kind of talking about maybe this is what the current situation sort of reflects. And this is kind of talking about that you're going to go through a major transformation of this. And so in 2 years from now, I feel like you're going to complete a more kind of like negative phase in your life. And I'm just saying negative. Nothing is inherently negative or positive in this world, but this is kind of like, you know, we're releasing those toxic things and being able to step into something that we actually truly do desire. And so this is completing an old phase of our lives, going through a major transformation. And I feel like it's because somebody's coming into your life that's going to change around your world. So whenever we have the Ten of Pentacles, this is something physical. This is like having a very good relationship. This is having some sort of either inheritance coming to us, coming towards us. This can be an increase in money in our job. But it's kind of usually, the Ten of Pentacles usually affects every aspect of our lives. And so I do feel like you're going to have somebody come into your life if you're not currently single already. This is like, you know, getting to a really good point. But I do feel like somebody new is coming into your life that's going to almost change around your perspective. So this could be a friendship that's coming into your life that's going to help change around your current perspectives, or a significant other coming into your life that's going to really help change around your ideas of life, or it could be like a family member as well that you get really close to all of a sudden that helps you change around your current limiting beliefs or current life structure that might be not exactly the most beneficial towards you at the moment, but it is heading in that direction of being very beneficial for you. So this is letting go of anything that no longer serves you, and I do feel like something new is coming into your life. This can also indicate inheritances as well. And when we have the Nine of Pentacles, this is living in our luxury, living in our joy, finally living in something where we're like, fuck yeah, I got it all. So I'm really seeing that for you guys. I'm really seeing that things are going into a really beautiful direction and a lot of abundance. Whenever we have 10 and 9 of Pentacles, this is like major material abundance. And so this is either when we're buying a home, we're getting a pay increase in our jobs, but it kind of affects every area of our life, like I was saying. So currently you might feel like it's not possible when we have the Devil right here. This is like, you might be hearing all this material abundance and be like, well, I don't really believe that. I don't think that's going to happen for me, but guess what? It's happening. Because when we have the Death right here, this is like, yeah, you're going to go through this transformation. It's happening 2 years from now. All of a sudden, material life, everything that you kind of desire falls into place, and the limiting beliefs really fade away. This is the Nine of Pentacles. This is like finally being in your serene serenity, feeling really positive, feeling really good about your life, and things start looking amazing. We do also have the Completion card right here and Despondence. And so these two cards are really kind of giving me the same vibes. They really correlate towards the kind of like the Devil card over here. But Completion is like, again, we're completing a phase. It's almost like the Death card as well. As we can see, she's like mourning over a grave right here, and she's thinking about the people that have passed on. So this isn't saying that anyone's going to pass away in your life. I do really want to make that clear. This is not meaning that at all. This is just meaning that there's a transformation happening. This is like a death of the ego, or like a death of the old self and stepping into a new self, because this is completing a certain phase. This is saying goodbye to the old toxic behaviors that we once had, the old toxic people that we once had in our life, and completing that phase where, yes, okay, yes, it's sad to leave behind certain people, but you know, sometimes it's for the best because they no longer serve our highest interest or our highest good, and they kind of bring us down rather than lift us up, you know? So this is completing those phases and letting those things go. When we have Despondence over here, this is like finally letting go of feeling like you're unworthy, or feeling like you have to be dependent on other people, or feeling like you're dependent on certain material things, or, you know, stuff like that. It's finally like letting that go, and letting go of limiting beliefs, completing a certain phase of your life in order to step into your truest greatness. We also have the femme fatale, and we have child orphan over here. So when we have femme fatale, this is almost like making me feel either that you feel the need to be a certain way in order to be accepted, or you feel like you need to be a certain way in order to be loved, or you feel like you need to be a certain way, or you need to use toxic behavior in order to get certain things, or you need to be around toxic people in order to get what you actually truly want out of life. And usually this is like talking about our negative beliefs that don't actually serve us, and they don't get us where we really actually truly want to go, and it's like wanting to get somewhere but having to go down a dark road in order to get there, and feeling like we always have to take the darker path in order to get what we want. But this is finally realizing that you don't need to do that anymore, and it's going through a completion of that phase. Despondence is like letting go of those toxic belief systems. We have child orphan. This might be feeling like, you know, you've always had to do it all yourself, therefore you've never really learned the right way to do certain things. You've had to take on a lot of responsibility since you were very young. This is like having to mature at a very young age because of certain things, certain scenarios that we've been under. And so I do feel like you guys have matured very quickly in your lives, but maybe you didn't get to learn how to do things in a very correct way, or it made you feel like you had to depend on certain other things that don't actually quite serve you. And so this is finally realizing that and letting go of that, having like a death of that, letting go of that old part of yourself. So in 2 years from now, you're really stepping into a higher version of yourself that can get what she wants or he wants in a very productive way, in a very beautiful way, and in a very respectable way, a way that's very easy and grand and great. We also do have the knowledge card right here. And so this is when we kind of like step into realizing how we can do certain things in life without needing to go down the femme fatale path. So this is finally realizing that there's so many more doors in front of us than we realized before. We go through a big self-transformation and a huge learning transformation as well. We also have the card Poised. I love how this comes out right by the Femme Fatale card. And then we have Come to the Edge. So Poised being here, this is finally like being like, okay, I'm going to truly respect myself. I'm not going to fall down toxic paths anymore. I'm not going to do toxic things to myself. I'm not going to have toxic behaviors or toxic belief systems, toxic limiting beliefs about myself. And this is finally holding yourself up on a pedestal and realizing that you deserve to be up on a pedestal. You deserve to be up there where you can poise yourself in a beautiful way. And again, like this is like feeling very highly about yourself because you know that you know your true worth. You know that you're worth more than what you've always put yourself at. So this is finally realizing your own true worth. When we have Come to the Edge, this is finally realizing that, yes, I'm ready to let go of my old life. I'm ready to take a risk. I'm ready to let go of the old things. And I'm ready to wear my heart on my sleeve and have something that works for me, something that's beautiful, letting go of the old toxic things and not having a fear about letting go of your old life. We also have Sacred Sexuality that, of course, comes under this area. And then we have Fate as well. And so when we have Fate here, this is finally getting into alignment with your purpose, getting into alignment with your destiny. And so again, huge transformation over the next 2 years where you're going to finally realize your true purpose, your true divinity. Sacred Sexuality, I feel like you're going to care a lot more about yourself, care a lot more about your body, care a lot more about who you are. I know this is a lot going in the direction of more like sexual stuff, but it doesn't have to be that. So for those of you that don't really relate to that, this is basically just talking about like realizing your true worth, because that's what Sacred Sexuality and female energy really talks about. This is like realizing your truest worth of yourself and having a lot of self-worth for yourself in all areas, in all aspects, and realizing the sacredness of your own energy, realizing the sacredness behind you and yourself, and honestly just really realizing your worth and realizing you're worth the world, and you can poise yourself up on that pedestal because you're worth it. So that is what I'm seeing for you guys, pile number 5. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give this a really big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!